Well, happy Saturday, Las Vegas. It is Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear that song, it just does something for me. Because love is a house, and you can have those keys, honey. All right? So hopefully you've tuned in. You're doing great. I've got a great show for you guys. I've got actually a couple of people that are going to come on that They help me in many ways, right? So I have a team. You guys know that I have a team. You already know about Miss Becky Coins. Good morning, Becky.
Good morning, Momo.
And today I'm also bringing on another part of my team, okay? You guys have heard me talk about distressed properties. A lot of you guys out there have homes that you've been wanting to put on the market, but you just look at that property and there's just so much to be done that it, makes you just shy away from even maybe reaching out to a real estate agent to get it listed or to get it sold, right? I've been to many properties where there's a lot of just cleaning that needs to be done and things like that. So the good news is I have an amazing team. And it not only is Becky and my other girls that are under me, or not under me. Becky, you're not under me. I didn't mean to say that.
You're good. You
guys know what I meant. Alongside me, okay? Let me check myself. But no, I have a great set of folks that come alongside me and help me just give the best service that I can for my clients. And with that being said, I want to introduce Anchor Point Services. They come alongside me when it's time to get that deep cleaning going. They help with commercial cleaning, residential cleaning. They even do some handyman work for me, in many cases. Pressure washing, carpet cleaning. They cover it all, okay? They've been so good to me that I said, hey, you guys, come on to the show. I want to go ahead and introduce you to my KUMV listeners and let them know exactly, the services that you can provide them. So with nothing else to be said, Sergio, can you say hi?
Hello, my name is Sergio Brachelli. How are we doing today?
We're doing good. How about you, Mr. Lewis?
Louis Federico, same. How are we doing today?
We are doing amazing. So I'm so glad you guys came on. You guys have, saved me many a days when I've had a difficult or, a stressful property that I needed some cleaning to be done. You guys came in, saved the day. So can you talk to my clients that are maybe listening that maybe they're property managers and they want to get their house ready after somebody's moved out? Will you guys help them with that?
We'll definitely help you out with that. As far as helping out with property managers, if you need houses that need to be ready to be back on the market for sales or
even rent.
We'll get everything to the point where it's just turnkey ready. You're ready to walk in and you don't. We take the worry out of it for you. We just want to make sure that everything's done.
How so what all will you guys do? Like what all do you?
Well, I
know what you do, but they don't.
so I myself will handles the part where it's the cleaning part for the pressure washing of the driveways or even the house. And when we do window washing, anything that is required to make the house look tip top in the beginning, and then. My partner Lewis here, he handles everything else as far as if the house would need minor handyman work or paint. I'll let Lewis take it over from here.
You guys are a one-stop shop.
We are. So my background is I was in construction in New York City. I owned a management company, actually, construction company, and a concrete company as well.
Nice.
Retired young, big mistake. My suggestion to all you people who are ready to retire, have hobbies. Because you'll get bored real quick. I met Sergio about a year ago. We were neighbors, and we're chatting, whatever. One thing led to another, and we decided to open up this company. Very happy about that.
That's good.
We've got a lot of positive energy going, and I didn't realize the show that I was going to be on today because that's my favorite radio station.
Absolutely.
I love jazz.
91.5.
I didn't even know that. I've listened to you a million times, Monique. That's
gosh,
my
you didn't even know it
station
was
on
me,
my
and here
car.
you are working with me.
Yeah. How great is that?
It's
I get to meet you in
awesome.
person. I said, I would love to meet her.
Absolutely.
Here we are, by
Here
chance,
we are.
by fate.
And I'm honored to have you guys on because you
It's
guys
my
have been such
pleasure.
a blessing. So you're from New York. You owned your own construction.
Correct. I own a few companies in New York. I was fortunate enough to build it to a strong business. I sold it and retired when I was 49 years old.
Oh, wow.
As
You were
I said, big mistake.
Right.
Anybody looking to retire? Hobbies. There's only so much you can travel. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And then you get bored. You need a purpose when you get up in the morning.
Absolutely.
And that was my problem. I got up every day with no purpose. So here I am now with Sergio. At the time when I met him, he basically had no purpose either. So we're talking as neighbors having coffee in the morning in the middle of the street, kind of blind. What are we going to do today? He started talking about his business that he was in, the maintenance business, the carpet cleaning.
Right.
I started talking about mine, and we decided to just put it together
Nice.
and make something happen. So we've been in business now for 4 months or so. We got all the bureaucracy out of the way, the permitting, the insurances, all that.
Right.
And now we're rolling. We're rocking and rolling now.
Yes, you guys
Yeah.
have been great. I really appreciate all the stuff that you've been doing. So, I only bring people on that I trust, right? I only bring companies on that I trust, that they do a good job. And so Sergio, for years and years, even before I became a real estate agent, he had that cleaning business. So I've used him in the past. And with you, you're able to come in and do also the handyman.
Correct.
So what does that entail?
Well, the handyman entails everything from fixing faucets, fixing a toilet that may be leaking or what have you. Also, we are partnering up with a company in California, which you have already done, which supplies cabinets, high-end cabinets to the public, direct to the public. Cut out the middleman. Countertops, the same thing. Granites, porcelains, everything.
So it's cheaper. That's what I'm listening
Well,
to
it-
hearing.
I was
That's
just going to
what
say,
I'm
that's what
hearing.
I'm hearing.
Well,
Cutting out the middleman.
I like to use the word less expensive.
Oh, I like that too.
Okay.
Okay, less
Right.
expensive. However you
Exactly.
want to put it.
Affordable.
Affordable.
There you go.
We're getting on the same page here.
Right.
So the point I'm trying to make is that if you have a home or if you have a property that you're relisting,
Right.
we're able to come in and supply you the cabinetry, the countertops, and then we could supply you with contractors' names, what have you. They could do the installation. People that we have fully vetted, people that I've worked with for years in the city. When I retired, I got back in the city doing consulting work, and I've done some pretty major projects in the city. So I've got a real good list of quality contractors that I'm working with now. Sergio and I are working with, fully licensed, insured, everything, fully vetted. And so we could do the whole project for you, from cleaning it to rebuilding it, if you will. And that's what our expertise is, and that's what we plan on doing.
Okay, that's great. So when you say cleaning it to rebuilding it, so you can, I mean, what do you do? Floors? Because I've never used you guys for floors or anything like that.
If it could be a full-on renovation if you need it.
If you need it.
Yes.
Okay.
If you require tile work, for example, he's brought up the cabinets and countertops.
Right.
If you want a full kitchen remod or a bathroom remod, we can do it.
So my fix and flip realtors out there, you
Yes.
heard what they said, that they can
Yes.
they can get that property ready for you to either sell or put on the market for rent. And I do know, I had a girlfriend of mine that had a flood in her house, or I should say water damage, and she was replacing her cabinet. So that's something else that you guys can do.
Yeah.
Maybe you have water damage issues. You guys can come in and assist with that as well.
Correct.
Yes.
So you guys are, like I said, a one-stop shop,
Yeah. Yes.
ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock.
And again, that would be Anchor Point Services.
Yes.
Anchor Point Services. And if you guys are wanting to reach out to them, you can reach them at 914-844-9465. Again, 914-844-9465. Because a lot of y'all say that I talk fast, and you know I can't help that. Okay, and then their Gmail is anchorpointnv, like Nevada, at Gmail. Again, anchorpointnv at Gmail. Wait, Anchorpoint Nevada, NV. All right, now I'm messing you all up. It's anchorpointnv at gmail.com. All right, guys. And just to recap, you guys are able to install cabinetry. You can do handyman services, whether that's a leaky faucet down to
Anything.
anything. Okay. And then you do the deep cleaning side of it, right, Sergio?
Yes, and I handle the
What about
the
paint?
carpets. Paint, we're actually painting houses.
So basically, I can pick this phone up, and if I need quite a few different items done, I don't have to call this guy, that guy, over there, here, there. You guys are just all together ready to rock.
Instead of 20 guys, you call me or Lewis.
And then you're a KUMV listener.
I am.
So you're family.
I am.
I like
well,
to, you know.
now, because I've been listening since I've come to Nevada, which is 17 years ago.
Well, that's a little bit of time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I consider myself a Nevadian now,
Yeah,
not
me
a
too.
New Yorker. But
Right.
the New Yorker is always in you.
Right.
So I kind of like the old school rock and roll because I grew up in the 60s.
Right.
But then I discovered your radio station by chance, flipping through the channels one day, and I've been listening ever since. It's just a great
It's
show.
amazing.
Because when I was growing up, two of my uncles were jazz musicians back in the day, and they played with all the big bands,
Wow.
Benny Goodman, all of them.
Oh, that's
A
awesome.
Tommy Dorsey band. They did records with Thelonious Monk. So That's kind of in me. So when I discovered your station,
Right.
it's been glued on ever since then.
Well,
and I love the way you present yourself on the station. So I said, I would love to meet her one day. And here I am.
Look at
Fate
that.
says it all.
Look
Here
at
I am.
that. I love that. And it is, that's awesome. It is our first time meeting.
It is.
Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, Monique.
And if you guys want to meet Louis and Sergio yourselves, again, that number is 914-844-9465.
I would just add, that's Lewis's line. My line is 725-265-5608.
And you can also just email them, anchorpointnv@gmail.com, and they will get back with you and get your project up and going. Okay, guys, so you guys know I like to always support my small business, and they have been working with me for some time now. Sergio's been working with me for years, and then like they said, they just got together about 4 months ago, but they've already come through for my clients. So again, that's Anchor Point Services. All right, let's go ahead and pivot. I have got none other. You guys have heard him before, Mr. Jabari Sadler. He is my solar partner, okay? You guys, it's getting hot, okay? I know that we're being blessed today with some nice weather, but you already know this is not usual and we should already be over 100 degrees today. So with that being said, solar, solar, solar. I am a huge believer in solar. Why? Because I've had it for 8 years. It has saved me a ton of money. One day, I'm going to calculate it. And I'm going to tell you guys just the thousands of dollars that it has saved me. And that's why I'm a firm believer. I don't preach anything I don't believe in. So Jabari is our wealth of knowledge when it comes to solar. But I want to bring on a couple of my friends, which you already know. Becky, she's not just a friend. She's, of course, my partner. But she just got solar a couple months ago. Last year, I've got my girlfriend that flew in from Dallas, Texas. And I said, you know what, Lisa, you don't have solar either. You come on. And I want you to ask maybe the questions or talk about your concerns of why you guys don't have solar or why it took you so long, Becky. That being said, that's Miss Lisa from Dallas, Texas.
Hello.
All right. And then you already know Becky and Jabari. Thank you for coming on.
What's up, y'all? Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So let's go ahead and hit Jabari with the reasons. And we're going to hit you. Becky, why? What were some of your concerns of why you did not get solar up until just last year?
There was a few different misconceptions, I think. You start seeing different stories on the news. I was like, oh my goodness, this might be a scam.
Yeah, true.
Whatever, that kind of situation. And then originally I kind of was under the impression that unless you were going to stay in your house for a long time, it was just too expensive. It was pointless.
Right.
And we weren't sure how long we were going to stay and if we were going to sell that house and move. And the husband kept saying, I want to do solar. And I kept saying, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be financially smart. And it took us a while, and I'm kicking myself, like I said.
So that is a good concern. There were news shows or articles and stories of people basically almost like getting scammed. Now, not everybody that knocks on your door is legit, right? And that's why I partnered up with you guys, because you're the number one installers in the country. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I took over.
Yeah, it's
not a takeover spirit.
No, yeah, this is the fun part of my job is clearing up the misconceptions, because there's so many. And in the first 5-10 minutes of talking to any prospective client, we handle all of those questions and concerns, because I don't blame anybody. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's people that knock on your doors and they say, hey, you don't have to pay for anything. Everything is free. It's from the government, and all you're doing is just, switching and this and that. So I understand that there's a lot of fear. And so that's what I'm here to do, is clear up the fear. And just like everybody says, just like Becky says, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. So once they finally get it, they're like, oh my God, I could have done this 10 years ago. I could have saved $100,000.
Well, go ahead and clear up the fear. What are some of the things you heard? Let's clear it up.
So first things first, we're paying an electric bill until when? It never stops, right? So in finance, we call that a liability.
Right.
Because it never ends. It's not going to pay for anything. There's no asset tied to it. It's not building equity. It's like renting a car for the rest of your life, when know you could have just paid a car note for 5 years and own it, and now you've got no more monthly payments. It's the same concept.
That's a really good analogy, like leasing a car for your whole life. Lisa, you, when you sat down, started talking to Jabari before we started the show, and I said, wait. Because, Jabari asked her, he said, why don't you have solar? And what did you tell him, Lisa?
Yeah, I just don't like them on the front of the house. They just don't look right. And I do have a question.
Yes.
When you move,
Yes.
do they move with you? Like if we build another house, can we take them with you?
That's a very good question. And I like to make analogies, right? Imagine you had a swimming pool put in your house. If you move, does that pool doesn't go with you, right?
No.
It becomes the equity that makes the house price value go up.
Right.
So the new buyers that come in, or tenants, they get full access to that pool, or they get full access to no electric bill. They get full access to having blackout protection, right? How many of us, especially in Texas,
Yeah.
right, especially in Houston, they keep a hurricane in their back pocket, right? So power outages are a norm in Texas. So when you're able to say, hey, my house that I'm selling or that I'm renting to you has no power bill and it has blackout protection, those tenants will pay more money in rent.
Absolutely.
Those buyers will pay more for that house compared to the comp next door that does not have blackout protection, that does not have a power plant built into the house.
What about hail?
Hail too. So that's another great question. That's
In
another-
Dallas, we
Get a lot
get
of
football
hail.
size and softball size hail.
Yeah, that's a very good one. So the cool thing about technology is these new panels, they're so strong, you could throw a baseball at it and it
Wow.
won't break.
Oh,
Yeah, they're almost indestructible. But if, let's say, something crazy did happen, it's all covered with your homeowner's insurance.
Oh.
So just like your roof, right? Your roof gets damaged from hail or from a storm or a hurricane or whatever, your homeowner's insurance kicks in to repair the house. So same thing, but the benefit of having solar is actually protecting your roof. So when you think about acid rain, you think about UV rays, that's what's breaking down the roof over
over the
time.
years.
Now over here in Vegas, they have tile roofs, but the rest of us, we have shingle roofs.
Right.
And that's what breaks down. So if you've got solar protecting that roof, then now your roof lasts longer.
That saves you even more money.
Saves you even more money. Because the roof, I would think, is the most expensive repair or replacement in a house.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, when it comes to, like here in Vegas, you just mentioned the tile roofs. So how does that work if anything happens with the tiles? Because, I mean, that's a big issue out here.
Yeah, so we do some really cool stuff with tile roofs. We have something that it's like recessed. We call it like a picture frame. So you may even have that on yours. I haven't seen yours. But yeah, so it's like what we do is we find the areas where we're putting the solar, and then we remove those tiles. We attach the solar, and then we go back and we fill in the tiles around the solar panel so it looks flush. So it looks very nice out here on the West Coast when you have those, we call them inlays, tile inlays. But yeah, those roofs last a long time anyway, so it's not really an issue of us worried about over time, is this going to break down? Those roofs last a long time, so you're good.
So a lot of people like Lisa did not want the panels on their home, so they don't have to have them on the home. Can't they use them almost like a pergola in the back if they wanted to?
Yeah, that's a good point. You do have options. So the most important thing we look at, and this is what we do usually over Zoom, is we look at the house from satellite on Zoom. Homeowners are there, both husband and wife are there, and we're showing them, hey, this area gets the most sun, maybe this part of your backyard gets the most sun. So if you wanted to, you could do a ground mount in some cases, and it doesn't have to be on the roof, right? If you have space for it, or a pergola, right? Or we could say, hey, this area of your roof gets the most sun. We don't have to do the entire roof. We don't have to do the front. If you want to just put it on the back, if we can make enough solar production from the back and it covers all of your electrical usage, then we don't have to put it on the front.
Perfect.
But if your front is south facing, well, that's what we call it. South facing is where we get the most amount of production. So if it's north facing, it kind of doesn't help you as much as if it's south facing. But we'll look at all of that over Zoom with a satellite view so you can see what makes the most sense. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so if you're interested in getting a hold of Jabari and letting him do that Zoom for you, looking at your specific house and giving you an idea of what your solar savings report will be, you can do that. 702-984-3700. 702-984-3700. If you're just tuning in, this is Monique Buchanan. This is the Welcome Home Show. We talk all things real estate and then some. Pretty much, right? Anything that has to do with your home or just community, we're going to get the word out there. If it's a benefit, if I feel like it's a benefit to the community, if it's benefited me, don't be shocked. I'll have it on the show. So once again, if you're looking to buy or sell your home, 702-984-3700. and we and my team will be happy to assist you. So let's jump back into it. There are some other myths, guys, right? So Becky took a long time to get it. She was worried about it being fraud or fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
She's kicking herself now that she took so long because she sees that she's saving a ton of money, right? What are some other myths that people have?
Another big one, and I hear this one all the time. If the solar system is not designed to cover all of the home's electrical usage, then you've got a deficit on power. Like, you're not making enough from the solar system. So now you're having to get it from who you used to get it from, the power
we have
company.
Nevada Power. We have a
energy.
monopoly out here.
Right.
And so we don't get to shop our rates. That's why I can't understand why anybody's still sticking with them. I'm sorry, this is my own personal opinion. And they keep,
Raising the rates.
raising the rates.
You're just stuck.
So if I'm on a fixed income and I paid my house off, I got to sit here and still have like a car note.
Every month.
Or you get that surprise bill because you didn't realize you was running that AC as much as you were.
Right,
I had
yeah.
that happen the year before my solar. That's when I was like, this is it, I'm done.
So you know
Enough
what?
is enough.
I just brought and keep your train of thought.
Yes.
Because I have an uncle right now that I'm struggling with. He is retired. Unfortunately lost his wife a couple years ago. And we don't know what to do because his roof, I think, needs to be replaced. But every month he is struggling. He's always behind $600-700 on his power bill. The man is on dialysis. And I'm like, what is the deal? I'd love to get him into solar, but when
Yeah.
I reached out, they said something about the roof.
Okay.
Now, do y'all replace roofs?
Yeah, we can do that too. So
Okay.
we can bundle everything into one package, so the homeowner pays zero out of pocket.
He was going to do. That's what it was. I was going to help him do what's it called, the loan for reverse
Home
mortgage,
improvement.
a reverse
okay.
mortgage. I was
Okay.
going to help him with a reverse mortgage. He reached out to a solar company and they told him something about the roof.
Okay.
So I'll probably have to have him call you because
ma'am.
he could not get the reverse mortgage until that roof was done.
Okay.
Too. So anyways, guys, I done told
Yes.
y'all all my business.
Yeah, I'll tell
y'all know I love y'all.
And I'll tell you guys a personal story. So my mom lives in Maryland. She needed a new roof.
Okay.
This was like 4 years ago.
Right.
And roofs are expensive, right? 10,000 or so to replace her roof, probably a little more. Who's got that kind of money sitting around? Most people don't.
Not many, yeah.
Right? So I said, Mom, send me your electric bill. Let me see something.
Okay.
Right? She didn't know what I was doing, but I said, let me just run some numbers. And so not only did we get her a new roof, zero out of pocket.
Right.
We got her solar. Her new monthly payment is $75 a month. She got a federal tax credit for $13,000, which included the roof, right? Because if you just pay for a roof out of pocket, you're not getting a tax credit.
So yeah, we
But
didn't
if
talk
you
about
bundle it with the solar, then you are. Another example.
How much did she come out of pocket? Because a lot of
Zero.
people are like, well, how much do you pay? So there
Right.
are many cases where you will, because I know when I got my solar, I paid zero. I didn't pay anything to get them.
Zero. So that's another
And
myth.
mine's under $200 for the last 8 years. I paid under
Fixed.
$200 in the desert.
Right, in the
Fixed.
desert where you're running
Fixed.
AC like crazy and it's
Right.
still fixed every month.
What kind of
I
credit
have
do
a
you
pool.
have to have?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so we got a lot of good questions. So couple things I want to hit on. One of the myths, obviously, is if you get a solar system that's too small. So, let's say somebody knocks on your door and they just say, "Hey, I'm just going to give you a proposal."
Right.
They haven't gotten your electric bill to verify
So how do they know?
how much
Right.
you need.
That's
right?
that's a common
So
problem.
they're just kind of giving you a cookie cutter system.
Right.
Maybe it's 15 panels. Maybe you really needed 22. So now every month you're getting this bill from the electric company because the solar isn't covering all
not
of your
covering it.
usage. So that person could go on the internet and say solar's a scam
Right. I get
because
it.
they were not educated that, hey, your system is a little too small, but we can add to your system. We
can
can
add panels.
expand. Yeah.
Okay.
So now you're covering what we call 100% offset.
So if somebody is listening to this and that has happened to them, they're not producing enough, you can help them
Yes.
to add panels.
Yes.
702-984-3700.
Yep.
702-984-3700. We got about 3 more minutes. I'm going to have you come back on because there's so many myths, but go ahead and hit a
Yes.
couple more.
Yep. So let's see. Credit. A lot of people ask, what are the credit requirements? We're very generous on our credit analysis. So around a 650, maybe even 630. You also can add a cosigner. The cosigner does not have to live with you. So if you have a best friend in another state or a cousin or a family member, they can be your cosigner so that you can get approved, zero down. The entire financing is 100% financing. So you're not having, 10 years ago, you had to put down maybe 10%, kind of like buying a house. Now it's 100% financing. And then the government gives you 30% back. And that may end, because that's currently
Yeah.
up for
True.
debate.
Yeah.
That may end next year.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go
That could go
solar,
away.
that's
Yeah.
30%. So if your system
Tax
costs
deduction.
$30,000, you're getting $10,000 from the IRS. So
Oh,
you're
wow.
really only spending $20,000.
And then they don't have to buy. There are other ways
yes,
to do it.
you can lease or you can own. It's
and
totally
none of
up
this
to you.
is any upfront money, typically.
It's all zero down, including if you need a roof, including if you need a main panel electrical upgrade. We will take care of all of that as
One
part
more
of the
myth.
package. Yes.
One more myth. What you got? What else do you hear out there?
There's a lot of clickbait ads that
Oh,
say
yes, that's a good one.
solar's free.
Yes.
It's never free, but when you're making an exchange of your electric bill and now you're paying solar, you could call that free because you're not spending any new money, you're spending less money.
Right.
So they put those little banners for you
Clickbait.
to click on and you're like, no, I thought it was free. No, you can either lease it or you can buy it. But either way, this is a fixed amount of cost that you can pay off in 5 years if you want to, because there's no prepayment penalty.
Yeah.
Or you can keep paying rent to get your power every month
Right.
for the rest of your life.
But it'll be cheap rent compared to Nevada Power, in my
That's
opinion.
right. If you lease,
in my opinion.
yeah, you're
In my
locked
experience, yeah, let me switch that, Becky. In my experience, I went from having in the summertime a $500 power bill down to $120
Yes.
in the summertime.
Yes.
And I have a pool now, and my bill is only $140 per month with my solar.
That's another good point. Homes that have a pool have pool pumps.
Yes, they do. They have to run
And they got
24/7.
yeah, depending where you live, if it's somewhere where it gets kind of cold overnight, like in Texas. I have clients in Texas that they looked at their power bill and it was way high. It's because the pool pump was kicking on every 10 minutes because the temp dropped below 32 degrees. And she didn't know that that's what was running up her power bill.
And I'm going to wrap this up because we have to end the show. But guys, I'll have him back on. But I want you to quickly touch on that power wall that you guys offer, where you
Yes.
can control your power no matter where you're at in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can see how much your pool pump is costing.
That's
you.
right. Okay, so the Powerwall 3, it's sharing energy between your solar system and your battery and the grid.
Okay.
So there's certain times a day where it makes sense to export your power back to the grid
Right.
because you're going to be selling that power to NV Energy
power
and
company.
making money.
Okay.
And then there's other times of the day where you don't want to sell it. You want to just store it so that when it's nighttime and there's no sun, you're actually running from your battery instead of running
So
from NV
no more
Energy.
power bill if you don't want to.
You can be
because
off the grid.
Instead of selling it back to the power company like what we do now,
Yes.
we keep our own power. So if there's a huge blackout, we got a whole battery full of
That's
our
ready
own
to go.
power. So our homes will be still going.
Yeah, it's connected to the internet, so it's watching the weather. So we may not even know that a storm is rolling in. It's checking it, a day in advance and saying, hey, storm's coming. Let me go ahead and fill up the battery to 100%. That way, if the grid does go down, we're running from the battery.
Okay, that's
No
and then
blackouts.
also you're able to control it from whenever
From
you're
your
at.
app on your phone.
You can look on there and say, hey, my pool pump cost me $13 last month. I see that right here on my app.
Yep. And then, hey, while I'm in blackout mode and the power is out, hey, I don't want to use my batteries for the pool pumps. I don't need that. Let me turn that off
can
from
turn
the
it all
app
off.
and just run the lights and the AC and the car.
So when you're on
and
vacation, you can shut down
you can
everything.
control it remotely.
And really control how much power you... Jabari, listen, we're going to have you come back on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I
got
just
you.
love that.
Yes,
I love having
technology.
control. I'm a control freak.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed. Lisa,
I can't tell.
Lisa, thank you for flying out from Dallas and coming on to the show.
You are most welcome.
Just love you. I know, and I appreciate what you asked. Those were great questions because a lot of people are concerned with the look of it. Becky, as always, thank you. You should have got that daggone solar 10 years ago. You should have listened to my friend Chris.
I know.
Your husband.
I know.
You're supposed to listen.
I should have.
Okay.
But I have it now. But I
That's
have
all
it
that
now.
matters.
All right,
Got it now.
KUMB, we love you. Don't forget, it is time to donate and keep our station going. We appreciate all the donations that are coming in, and we just love y'all. And me and my team, we appreciate all your referrals. You guys be blessed, and until I hear from you, it's Monique.